mushrooms on top of it too.
Ooh, very good. Mushrooms are good. What kind of mushrooms did you use?
White whole ones.
Okay.
I don't know. What kind should I was thinking afterwards.
That's fine. Mushrooms are good. They ward off cancer. Onions and mushrooms are really good anti-cancer, anti-carcinoma. So yeah, mushrooms are good. And there's like the shaki mushrooms, the chaga mushrooms, the washi mushrooms. So there's a lot of different types of mushrooms. But yeah, any mushroom is a good mushroom. Portobello's. Portobello is actually for people that are trying to go vegan. Portobello has like the texture of a steak. So if you ever want to play around with different type of mushroom, and the portobellos are a good one to try as well. So I always like to start the meeting with some breath work, just so that we can all come together and kind of let go of the day and everything that all the stresses and everything that have been in front of us all day. So we did an exercise last time, kind of connecting our chest and our belly and using the breath work to fill our lungs from the bottom up to our chest. And today we're kind of going to go the opposite way. So a lot of times we're stuck up here, we're stressed, and so our breath gets very shallow. So what we're going to do is shrug our shoulders as we breathe in and hold, and then we're going to release and drop them. Okay, so with an inhale, we're going to breathe in, shrug our shoulders up, hold, and when you're ready to exhale, release and drop them. We're going to do that 3 times. And exhale when you're ready. You don't have to follow my breath. Exhale when you're ready. So you're going to breathe in and shrug, hold, and exhale and drop your shoulders. Number 2, breathe in, shrug, hold, and exhale and drop your shoulders. And last time, breathe in, shrug your shoulders up, hold. When you're ready to exhale, drop your shoulders and exhale. Very good. So this is a good one just to help release the upper traps, because a lot of times as you get stressed, we feel that upper trap get really tight. It goes up into our neck, can sometimes cause tension, headaches, and things like that. So when you feel this part of your upper back and neck start to feel tense and tight, this is a good way just to allow yourself to release. Just shrug and release, shrug and release. And another thing I found to go with that is if you're sitting in a chair that has arms on it, I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit. I don't have arms on this chair, but we're gonna pretend I have arms on this chair. Is just to press your elbows down into the chair. And just hold that for 10 or 15 seconds. Pressing your elbows down into the chair. Relax, take a breath. And exhale, pressing your elbows down and into the chair. And keep breathing. And keep pressing. And breathe. And press. So this movement allows the upper traps to relax, using the antagonist or opposite muscles of the upper trap by pressing your elbows down, helps to open up traps. Okay. So today my intention is to be open, clear, and focused and supportive. So today is our first day of the kickoff. So I'd like to ask you, how did the shopping go? How did the prepping go? Tell me what you were able to do ahead of time as far as prepping for the next 14 days.
Okay, well, I made the BAM seasoning.
All right.
Let's see, what else? I got the ingredients for the coleslaw, the broccoli and the cauliflower.
Okay, very good.
I don't have the coconut milk yet, but I think that's the only thing I'm missing.
Okay. Very good.
What else? Well, I had the almond butter that I'd gotten the other day and had it with carrot sticks, and that was good.
Oh, good. Good.
And I have the ingredients to make the sweet potato quiche, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So that was going to happen last night, but it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Maybe
That's
tomorrow.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. And I think you got the ingredients for the ginger turmeric tea.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I haven't made that or the lemonade.
Okay.
I was thinking of those.
But you have the ingredients, so now it's just working it into your schedule and
Yeah.
seeing what you can fit in.
Right.
So remember that this is kind of a crash course that we're doing right now, but these are keys to, you have all the ingredients and everything that you can use from here on end. So don't feel like if you can't fit it all into the next 14 days that you failed in any way. You've got all the tools that you need just to keep it going. So if it's not on track, that's fine. Just keep on going and make the things as you can, and everything's going to move forward. There's a lot of huge changes that can happen in the next 14 days. And so I'm not expecting like you to be able to do everything on that list. Like I mentioned in our first session last week, that there's more things on this menu than any one person can possibly eat. And I do it that way purposely so that you have choices. And we're going to go back to that a little bit later on this evening, because there's going to be a little bit of mix up. I just try to make things as easy as possible for everyone, because I know everyone has hectic schedules and days are just, really busy. So we're just going to move on from there. So, so one thing I would like everyone to do within the next 24 hours is to weigh yourself and measure yourself. And it's not something that you need to share unless you want to share, but it's just for your own, so you have a baseline of where you started. So obviously weight is easy to step on the scale. As far as measurement, I would like you to measure around your belly where your belly button is. So just take a measuring tape around where your belly button is and take a measurement there. Take a measurement at your hips. So if you feel on the side of your hips where your hip bones are, and I'll stand up here. Use the camera. So when you stand up and you feel that bony part right here, that's the part where you want the tape measure to come around onto your hips, and then measure what the hip is there. And then go down to your thigh, the thickest part of your thigh, and do a measurement around here as well.
Okay.
Those three spots, your belly button, the hip bone, and then the thickest part of your thigh.
Okay.
And again, this is just going to be a baseline for you, so you know where you started. And hopefully you're going to continue after the next 3 weeks, and we can always touch base at a later time. Okay, so the next question, the next thing I'd like to talk about is what your intentions are. And I'd like to find out exactly what your desired outcome is for the next 3 weeks. And since it's just you and I, it's kind of a private session, and we're going to hear back from Lori and Lynn. But if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what your desired outcome is.
Well, I want to have more energy. I want to lose weight. Whether it's age or what, but I've developed love handles or a beer belly. It's not, that's the closest I can come to describing it. It's excess in the front, which I've never had before. And I don't want to keep it.
Okay. And when did this come on?
Within the past 8-9 months, something like that.
Okay. And has there been any other changes in your health around that same time?
No.
Okay. All right. So it's just a mystery. The mystery love handles.
Which is why I kind of think it might be age.
Okay.
Well,
our hormones do change as we age. And so I think we talked a little bit about that the other day when you and I met, that there's as we age, then we produce less estrogen and progesterone, and when our reproductive organs kind of shut down, then the adrenals and the thyroid have more, there's like a progesterone steal from the adrenals, which can cause the afternoon crashes. I'm looking back at my notes with you, Karen. Do you have any thyroid issues?
No, I don't.
Okay. So between the two, that the cortisol levels change and things of that nature. And interestingly enough, with this diet, it can help to balance your hormones. So not to say that the beer belly is going to disappear in the next 21 days, but you should be able to see some type of difference, knowing, giving you an indicator that you're definitely on the right track. So we would want to keep on this type of a diet, sugar-free and good carbs against low carbs and gluten-free and those types of things.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, so you want to increase your energy, reduce weight, and reduce the love handles and beer belly. Okay.
I don't know how else to describe it. It sounds awful, but it's extra in the front that didn't used to be there.
Okay. And you're not a beer drinker?
I am not. No, I should have mentioned that. I can't stand the smell.
Okay, very good. Very good.
That
Okay.
rules out one easy source.
Yeah, right. It does. It does. But the hormones obviously do play a big part in that. So we're going to be addressing that as well with the foods that we eat.
Okay.
Okay. So the next big question, and I'm putting this out there again, this is a recorded session. And so for the people, the participants that aren't able to be here today, this question goes out to you as well. And if you would be so kind to message me back what your desired outcome is, because that way I can frame and determine exactly what we're going to talk about on each session. I do have an agenda, but I also want to meet your needs. So if it's something that's a concern for you, the more that you can relay that to me, the better I can serve you. Okay.
Okay.
So the next question is in 5 years from now, how would you like to look back at this time?
I guess I'd like to look back and see it magically corrected everything that I've been doing wrong up to this point in my life. That it's new and better going forward.
Okay. I'm writing this down, so forgive me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just taking notes.
No. I'm taking notes on this end too.
Good, good. So when you say correct what you've been doing wrong, what do you think you've been doing wrong?
Well, I know I don't eat much protein at all, and
Okay.
I do tend to snack and just grab whatever closest and easiest. So perhaps that's catching up with me now.
Okay, and what types of things do you grab that are close and easy?
Cheese, crackers, potato chips, vegetables.
What type of veggies?
Well, I'll microwave some vegetable, a packet of vegetables, a medley of broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, or corn, or carrots, and just have that for dinner instead of,
Okay.
a proper meal.
And does that typically have like some type of a sauce, a cheesy sauce or a buttery sauce in it, or is it just plain?
It varies.
Okay.
I go lightly sauced, or the carrots are in like a butter honey, I believe, type light sauce.
Okay. Okay. All right. And we talked before, you're not crazy about fish, right?
Nope.
You don't like to eat fish. So what is your main source of protein?
A little bit of yogurt. There's not much protein in there.
Okay.
occasionally some eggs, steak, chicken, sometimes shrimp, sometimes a lobster roll. I keep restaurants in business.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. So this is just something that I'm taking note of, and then we're going to dive into some of these things as we go through. And I'd like to get the perspective of the other participants too, and be able to talk a little bit more about that probably next week. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So in our first session, we talked about some of the different teas. And I wanted to take a minute to talk about the difference between a medicinal tea and coffee. A lot of times people, well, we've just been kind of trained to think, you know, everyone runs on Dunkin' and Starbucks and all these great coffees that are out there. But unfortunately, what we don't realize is that caffeine is a stimulant. It doesn't actually produce energy. It stimulates us and it changes the chemicals within our body and in our brain. So a lot of times it might have happened to you, it might not have happened, but if you have too much caffeine, what tends to happen? You tend to get kind of jittery, right? Kind of a little bit amped up and almost edgy. So those are some of the side effects of having caffeine. In addition to that, caffeine is addictive. So anything that you can't go without, I have to have my coffee in the morning, is an indication that there's a chemical dependency on that. And what we need to really understand is that if our body is craving anything, whether it's sugar, whether it's caffeine, that there's a dependency on that. And what does that mean is that it somehow is altering things that are going on in our body. And you know, take that a step further, like it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, whatever, but if you bring it back down, if we're craving something, if we can't go without it, that we get edgy or we get moody or we energy crash or whatever without it, and that's our body telling us that we're dependent on that, and it's kind of a signal that maybe we need to look at that a little bit differently. Fortunately, there are so many wonderful things that are naturally provided for us that can give us natural energy without the mind altering and the dependency on it. And with that, I'd like to talk a little bit about teas. So there's medicinal teas, there's black tea, which has caffeine in it, and there's medicinal teas. And on the initial grocery list, there's a few teas on there, mainly the detox tea and the dandelion tea. I would suggest to get both of those teas. They're easy to find in the grocery store. They're so traditional medicinals has the everyday detox.
I did get that one.
Okay, and the roasted dandelion root.
Okay.
So if you like your coffee in the morning, this is a great substitute because it is a little bit stronger. The roasted dandelion root is a little bit stronger, is a little bit more bitter, and the everyday detox is just absolutely delicious. And this one actually has dandelion in it. You'll see when you go there, depending on the store, it might be a yellow label banner down here and it'll say lemon, and it might just say traditional, and that they're all delicious. So I just wanted to point out those two types of tea to help the transition if you are a coffee drinker, to help, at least for this detox, to get off of the coffee and try a tea that's going to help detoxify the liver. So one of the reasons why we want to detoxify. So I always like to use the analogy of our car, right? Our car is an investment. We depend on our car, right? We need our car to get us from point A to point B every single day. So would you ever think about not changing the oil in your car for a year or 2 years or 3 years.
Not if you want to keep driving it.
Exactly. So why would we not want to do that for ourselves? We only have one body, right? We can't take it into the repair shop and get new wheels and a new transmission. So we want to be able to take care of our body the best that we can. And our liver is an organ that is constantly detoxifying. And with all of the manufactured foods out there, it is overloaded with toxins. It's not the same types of foods that our grandparents or even our parents grew up with. There weren't the GMOs, there weren't the pesticides or herbicides, there weren't all of these things that are now in all the foods that we eat, the hormones, the steroids, the antibiotics. It's no matter what aisle you go down in the grocery store, we're being bombarded with all of these different additives that are making our liver work so much harder. So it's very important for us to detoxify. Ultimately, we'd like to detoxify 4 times a year with every season, okay? So now we're into the winter, so we're doing a winter detoxification. And these teas are a really simple step to start that process, okay? And as the logo says, it's a medicinal, okay? So there's nothing added in there that's going to give you a false start like the caffeine does. In addition to that, if you have afternoon energy crashes, that's an indication that your adrenals are fatigued, and pretty much I would guess that the majority of Americans have their adrenals are fatigued because we're all in overload. Our cortisol levels they're high, they're low. We wake up in the middle of the night, we can't sleep, and then we want to crash in the afternoon. So another very important supplement to increase in our daily regimen would be B vitamins. There are no B vitamins. B vitamins. B is in bumblebee or boy. And B12 is very important to increase our energy levels. So at the end of our session today, I'm going to actually, I think I can share screen right now. I'm going to try to share screen right now. And I'd like to show a quick video on a supplement, an energy supplement that you mix with your water. It's called Energy. And it is from a company called Amare. I've been using this product for over a year, and I'd like to take the guesswork out of buying products for people because I've literally spent tens of thousands of dollars on different supplements. There's good ones out there, there's better ones out there, and there's not so good ones out there. So when I find something that really works, I really believe in sharing that with as many people as I can so that they can get the results without wasting money. So I'm going to go here to the Amare site. Can you hear it now?
Yep, I can hear it.
Okay. While you're watching that, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Energy Plus is Amare's healthy answer to the unhealthy energy drinks that millions of people consume every day. You know, when we formulated Energy Plus, we started with the question, what does energy mean to you? And for most people, energy means being able to fight that fatigue that comes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It means having enough get up and go to be there for our kids or our family. It means having enough of that drive to meet that deadline and to exceed the expectations that people are putting on you in your career. Those are all aspects of energy that are really important and are not being delivered to you with a big dose of caffeine and sugar. So what we wanted to do with Energy Plus is use nutrients that could really help your body, your brain, your body to respond to the demands put on you. One of the most interesting ingredients in Energy Plus is a leaf that comes from the Amazon River called guayusa, or sometimes pronounced guayusa. This is a leaf that the hunters in the Amazon River Basin will use as a tea before they go out hunting at night. Not only does it give them energy and keep them alert so that they're able to do their hunting, but it also has a very unique effect to improve what we refer to as mental awareness. It makes you more aware of the world around you, which is exactly what most people need when they're looking for more energy. You don't want just physical energy or just mental acuity, but you want more mental awareness, and Wyusa does it in a way that's very, very unique. So Energy Plus is a fairly low caffeine product. You'll notice on the label that we list out the amount of caffeine. 55 milligrams of caffeine per serving in an all-natural blend. 55 milligrams is about what you'd get in a cup of tea. So it's not like chugging coffee, it's not like chugging energy drinks, it's not like downing one of those energy shots. The energy in Energy Plus isn't coming only from caffeine. It's coming from our GDX proprietary blend. It's coming from those flavonoids, which are waking up the brain in ways that caffeine doesn't do. We're improving blood flow to the brain so that your brain is able to get the oxygen and the nutrients that it needs to perform at the high level that you want it to. So with Energy Plus, you're seeing this rise in energy that doesn't crash off, that doesn't fall off the cliff later on. It's a gradual increase in energy, it's a long-lasting kind of energy, and it's a mental focus kind of energy where people will get it and say, wow, I just feel better. I feel more vital. I feel more vigorous. I feel like my burnout is falling away. That's a kind of energy that doesn't exist on the market today and that we're delivering with Energy Plus.
Okay. So, what did you think about that?
It sounds interesting. I hadn't realized, you know, the effect on the brain and oxygen and.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been using this product for a year now, and it's a great way to have the energy. There's no jitters. There's no, like, it's very subtle. You know, a lot of times when I have the energy crash, I can feel it coming on, and then I know it's like I just have to lay down. And when I take this, I just mix it with water, and within 15 minutes, it's like a complete shift. It's a gradual shift. It's not a jolty shift, but it's like, oh, you know, and then it's like 15 minutes later, it's like, wow, I don't feel tired anymore, and I can carry on my day. But the focus is the part that I really find beneficial, because when I used to drink caffeine, I would have the energy, but I would also be like way up here energetically, as opposed to like be able to focus in on what I needed to get done. So that's a big shift, a big difference between this drink and any other drink that I've ever had. And if it's something that you want to try, I'm gonna put the link on the next email I send to everyone, so that
Okay, good.
if you want to give it a try, then I
Yeah, definitely.
And they have a guarantee, if you try it and you don't like it, you can return it and get your money back. So it's kind of a win-win, a loss. Okay, so let me look here and see. Oops, over here. Okay, so going forward, today we're on day 1. And the action step I would like for everyone to take away today for the next, so we meet on Tuesday of next week, is mindful eating. And what does mindful eating? Well, mindful eating is a plethora of things, but what I would like us to concentrate on between now and next Tuesday is using our senses. So with every meal, I want us to be able to slow down a little bit and just concentrate on what we're eating. So turn off the TV, turn off the computer. I want you to eat your meal with the food that is in front of you, not anything else that's going around. and use your senses. Allow yourself to smell, okay? So if you're preparing this meal in your kitchen, it's going to allow your senses, you know, your sight, your smell to like, wow, this is going to be a great meal. When you allow yourself that time, it actually starts to stimulate the digestive enzymes. When we smell something that smells delicious, our mouth starts to water. That releases the amylase, which is a carbohydrate digestive enzyme that starts in our mouth. So chewing is very, very, very important. A lot of times that we forego that because we only have so much time when we're literally shoving food down our throat. So we want to slow ourselves down to be able to chew, at least 26 chews before we swallow. And this is an interesting thing, and it's kind of a little game that I play with myself. But when I'm in a public setting and people are eating, I count how many times people chew. And honestly, like moms in particular, when you have little ones around you, they chew like 4 times and they swallow. And I was like, they don't even realize because they're so preoccupied taking care of their little one next to them that they don't even realize that they're not allowing themselves to start the digestive process in the mouth, which is so important. So it's a habit to slow ourselves down, and if we need to stop and count how many times we're chewing, then that's what we need to do. But our goal is to chew 26 times before we swallow, okay? And to use our senses. We're going to use our nose to smell. We're going to use our eyes to see the delicious meal that we created. We're going to use our taste just to even close your eyes as you're chewing those 26 times and try to pull apart all the different tastes. You know it's in there because you made it, but can you pull it all apart? I can taste the ginger. I can taste the turmeric. I can taste the protein. I can taste the shrimp, whatever it is that you have in there. So allow yourself to use all your senses and the texture too. How does it feel? How does it feel in our mouth? And a lot of times people have sensitivity to different foods because of the texture. It's not that it tastes bad, but it's the texture that they have a reaction to. So those different things are very interesting for us to take the time to just be aware of what's going on in our mouth. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So now I just want to review what's going to be going on for the next couple of days. I want to ask, have you tried the oil pulling?
No.
In the morning. Okay. So try that tomorrow. We talked a little bit about that at our first meeting. I'm going to go over that real quick again today. So we want to start with a tablespoon of either the sesame oil or the coconut oil. We're going to put that in our mouth and we're just going to swish it back and forth. Do not gargle with it. We don't want it in the back of our throat. We want it in the front of our mouth, and we swish it between our teeth, under our tongue, into our cheeks. Kind of like that, make all those funny faces. Ultimately, we want to work up to 15 minutes with the oil in our mouth. Our goal is for the first day for 2 minutes, and then we'll do that for 2 days, and we work up to 3 minutes. So the progression of the next 21 days, we're going to be working ourselves up to 15 minutes. If at any time your oil feels icky, you can spit it out and get a new teaspoon. I know when I first started doing oil pulls, I went through maybe 2 or 3 teaspoons for each session as I was building myself up to the 15 minutes. And maybe that was because it was pulling a lot of toxins out of my body. So just go with what feels good for you. For the people that live in the northern states, I know Lynn and Lori both live where it's very cold right now. So your coconut oil is going to be solid. And maybe yours is too, Karen, living in the south, because we have a little bit of cold weather going on as well. So if your coconut oil is solid right now, you can warm it up on the stove or in the microwave if you want. You don't want it to be hot. You just want it to be melted so that it's a liquid and not a solid. If that bothers you, it's, you know, again, it's a personal preference. If it's solid, some people kind of have a little bit of a gag reflex putting the solid coconut oil in their mouth. So if you want to warm it up a little bit so it's a liquid, that's fine. Swish it. Throw it out if you need to. Throw it in the basket, not down the drain. It is an oil. We don't want to clog up and have plumbing problems for anybody. So make sure you throw it, toss it into the garbage can. and repeat if you need to. If you're building up to that 15 minutes, if you need to add more oil, that's fine. And when you're done, rinse your mouth with warm water. If you want to add a little bit of salt to that, if that makes your mouth feel cleaner, that's fine. Extra benefits to do an oil pull is that it helps keep your breath fresh and also whitens your teeth. So a couple little added benefits of using oils for oil pull. Okay, so the first 6 days, I'm looking at your menu plan, is using the detox tea and the dandelion tea. So I hope that between now and the 6th day, you guys can all have that on your list of things to drink throughout the day. And the other thing that I wanted to point out on the menu. So I'm going to go back to screen share again. This dinner here, coconut beef and carrot basil salad, is, I will be honest, is like my favorite dinner in the world. I absolutely love this meal. I highly recommend it. The coconut basil salad, everything is like to die for. It's a crowd pleaser. If you're ever entertaining, I recommend making this because you will be like the talk of the town. However, there's quite a bit of prep to it. So I'm suggesting that when you go shopping on day 3, okay, so day 3, you're gonna go shopping for day 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna suggest that that day, which is Saturday, that you start prepping your Thai beef. Most of us have more time on the weekend to make a nice meal. Typically, like we have a nice meal on Saturday night or Sunday night with family. So if your schedule is that you do not have extra time Monday through Friday because you're going to work, you take care of the kids, your family, I would suggest putting this Thai beef and carrot basil salad up here to day 4. Okay, so you're gonna go shopping on Saturday, day 3, for day 4, 5, and 6. Just rotate the meal a little bit, bring the Thai beef and carrot salad onto to eat on Sunday, and what you can do is start prepping it on Saturday. If you can, shred the carrots on Saturday, make your carrot salad. It tastes even better day 2 because it has a day to marinate, for everything to marinate. So if you can make your carrot basil salad on Saturday after you go grocery shopping and put it in the refrigerator so it's done for Sunday for a beautiful Sunday meal, that would be fantastic. And also for the Thai beef, you can brown the beef and put the seasoning in it, then put it in the refrigerator, and that's going to make Sunday's meal so much easier. All you have to do is make your rice and then warm everything up, and voila, you've got a fabulous dinner. So that is my food for thought there. And so Karen, so what is your takeaway from today's session?
I want to try that energy tea, that's for sure.
Okay.
I'll look up the recipe for the Thai beef. And
Great.
let's see. Do the oil pulling.
Good.
And shopping, again, still.
Okay, so remember to pace yourself too, because I know you're just cooking for one, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to like have too much stuff and have it spoil. So do the best that you can. Again, if you have any questions between now and our next session, let me know. We talked a little bit when we met the other day about cooking once, eating twice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find that you have extra ingredients that you haven't gotten to, then go ahead and just chop them up, put them in a Ziploc bag. Make sure and label them, because sometimes we look at things, we're like, what the heck is in here and what is it for? So just label them, put them in a Ziploc bag and freeze them. And then you're going to have a plethora of stuff even after our 21 days is done. And then you're going to have a stock full of good foods in your freezer, so you can carry on with this wonderful, delicious meal plan that we have.
I had a question. The detox salad. I bought the ingredients and then yesterday, and then today I looked at the recipe. 12 to 15 servings might be a bit
so
much.
You're gonna, right, exactly. So you're gonna want to just use maybe like So typically when you buy broccoli, there's 2 or 3
Yeah.
big broccolis in there, right? So you're going to want to use like a third of that. Okay, so if there's 3 broccolis, you're just going to use 1, right? And the same with your cauliflower. You'll either want to quarter it or cut it into thirds. And that will give you enough to last it, you know, a couple days. But you're going to find that this salad, and I haven't found anyone that doesn't love this salad, that you can make a meal out of it. It's just something that you're gonna find yourself snacking on it. You're gonna find yourself, oh, this is my lunch, this is my dinner. So it will make enough that will last you, you know, a couple days. But yeah, I would not suggest you to use a whole head of cauliflower and a whole bunch of broccoli. That will be, it'll end up spoiling. And I don't want you to spoil anything. So use, you know, just kind of break it down. Then you have extra broccoli, you have extra cauliflower. You can throw that in your soup, but you can also make and freeze that, right? You can have some for lunches or dinners this week and then freeze the rest. So you're going to have that down the road.
Okay. But that detox salad would not freeze well. I'd be better
No.
off leaving it intact.
Yes,
using
you
it
want
up.
to make the detox salad into portion control for like 2 or 3 days at the most. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it more than that. But the soup you can freeze.
Okay.
You can use a leftover broccoli and cauliflower, throw that in your vegetable soup, and then freeze that.
Okay.
So
Right.
the vegetables don't spoil. Or you can just chop up the broccoli and cauliflower, package it, label it, and put it in your freezer for stir fry down the road.
Okay. Oh, I see. Not make it up, just the separate raw ingredients.
Right, right.
Okay.
So your option is to use it in a soup and freeze it, or keep it raw and chop it, freeze it, and then you can use it in a stir fry.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay, wonderful. All right, well, this has been a great session, and I look forward to Tuesday because I'm sure that Lynn and Lori are both going to be able to join us. So you're going to
Good,
be
I
able
hope
to
so.
meet your mystery colleagues here on the next session.
Okay, good.
All right, you have a wonderful night, Karen. It's nice working with you tonight.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.